Good morning, everyone. My name is Randall Peterson. I'm going to be your facilitator for the morning. Bobby Weir, one of our very, very good friends at CANSA and also an incredible survivor with a fantastic story, is supposed to be our facilitator today. But unfortunately, I think because of all the rain, he's had some connectivity issues. So, Bobby, I know you are here. So I'm going to ask you to co-facilitate with me. But just to give you guys a bit of background, from me or of me. My name is Randall Peterson. Like I said, I'm been involved with the Cancer Association of South Africa for about probably 12 years as a volunteer, as an MC, as a motivational speaker. And I'm also a coach. So I just want to welcome all of you here today. Please note that it is a safe space. We are recording for record keeping and just to help as many people as possible, especially men that cannot be here today. So feel free to keep your cameras on. We want to keep it as interactive as possible. Obviously, a support group is there so that we can support each other, share stories, and every single time we have the support group, which will be every third weekend of the month, we want to have guest speakers and people that will motivate and give advice and just be a rock for you to stand on, or foundation. So I've got a couple of house rules. Number one, I just want to thank Daredevil, managed by Hollard, for their contribution and support to make the support group happen. Of course, this is aimed at men, and we cannot do it without their assistance. Obviously, as you know, the Daredevil run happens once a year, but they do so much for cancer, and especially men with cancer. Now, of course, there's a couple of rules. I'm going to ask you all to be muted. In fact, we have made it that you can't unmute yourself. We are going to get to an interactive part of this morning where I will allow everyone to unmute themselves, and especially if you want to share your stories, because that's why we are here. Of course, like I said, today is being recorded. We're trying to help as many men as possible, but we value your privacy. So if you don't want to keep your camera on, or if you don't want to talk, obviously that's your right. We're not going to force you. Then, of course, your comments, please, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, please put them in the chat box, and we'll get to them towards the end of the show, or end of the support. It's not a show. We do so many of these online webinars because of COVID. The good thing about that is that the world has gotten smaller and we can actually reach a lot more people this way. And then, of course, like I said, we will have a question and answers section where we will give you an opportunity to share and to motivate. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to introduce our first speaker. Now, he's the national manager for cancer care homes. He's been with CANSA for excess of 20 years. He always jokes that he took a sabbatical of 6 months, and I said to him, Gavin, you know, what 6 months? That's a holiday. So we value the fact that you're here today. I know your internet's also not 100% stable, but thank you for being here. And please, like I say, please put your comments in the chat box, and we'll get to them right after. Gavin, you're on. Just remember to unmute your mic.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Emmanuel. I'm going to give you a short overview of our support services, cancer support services. So, Emmanuel, if you can continue with the slideshow. Okay, so I'm going to talk about cancer support for men with cancer and answer the questions on how can we help patients and their families. Next slide. So, cancer online support services. I'm going to start with our iSurvivor online support program. It's basically a program designed to guide our cancer patients or survivors, and that is people or persons, survivors, anyone who has heard the words, you have cancer. So it's for us to guide the cancer survivors along their journey and help them to cope better with cancer. Next one. Then we have our cancer at home pain guidelines. And that is basically designed specifically to look and give guidance on what is pain, why do we want to treat pain, myths about pain, what is causing pain, and what to do if you have pain. And then the most important one is treating pain. So we have this one, as well as the at-home guide for children with pain. And also we have a guide for palliative care, home palliative care. So that's 3 guides that we have in terms of pain guidelines. We also have cancer dietary tips for cancer patients, where we looked at specifically tips for diarrhea, tips for loss of appetite, tips for nausea, and tips for constipation. And then we have our cancer coping kit. This is basically a kit that will help you to cope with cancer and to answer the question, so you have cancer, what now? And this coping kit is available at our physical copies, PDF booklets, and audio downloads from our website. And then we have our cancer help desk. Our friendly and informed staff at our toll-free call center provide compassionate customer services, awareness materials, information and referrals for anything related to cancer support and care. They are there to help you answer your questions or concerns. So get in touch with us. Visit www.cancer.org.za or call our toll-free 0800-226622 or email info@cancer.org.za or counseling@cancer.org.za. Our WhatsApp numbers 072-197-9305 for English and Afrikaans, 071-867-35304. isiXhosa, isiZulu, Sesotho, and Siswati. And then this is Gerda's favorite e-Kickbutt online support program. Basically, to help you quit smoking. It is a unique online smoking cessation program, and through a series of emails, surveys, downloads, we will gladly guide you and mentor you as you quit smoking, and also supply you a series of handy tools that was tried and tested. And then we have our cancer fact sheets, presentations, infographics on our website. And you can see there's an example of infographics, the big 5 cancers affecting men in South Africa. And this is proper research being done by our head of health, Professor Michael. And I can assure you, if you want to get any information on cancer, you can really go on our website and go to cancer fact sheets, and you will see we have proper researched facts on cancer. And then we have our cancer Facebook support groups, our cancer survivors, champions of hope for cancer survivors, patients, and those in remission. Here you will receive encouragement from fellow members, and also you will be in a position to share your story and hear other stories. And then we have our cancer caring for the caregivers, also where you will receive encouragement from fellow members and where we share our stories. And then cancer TLC for children and parents and guidance, guardians affected by cancer. And here also we will receive encouragement from fellow members, and you will be in a position to share your story and hear other stories as well. Our advocacy. Every advocacy query is lodged in our advocacy register of issues relevant to the cancer patients. We are using this registry to track common patient issues and challenges to enable us to report on this nationally in our advocacy and lobbying programs, as we are part of such as the Cancer Alliance, various cancer advisory boards and coalitions, and also like other organizations, Treatment Action Campaign. And this is basically our watchdog role that we are trying to fulfill. Important also, in our informative webinars, Cancer regularly hosts various cancer awareness sessions, roundtable discussions, and events online. And this is in a bid to make educational information and support more easily available to the public. So there will also be, you will get, whilst this group is going forward, you will get more information with regards to webinars coming up, and we will give you the links in order for you to participate. And then, of course, we have our cancer patient support. Okay, Manuel. I'm going to start with our cancer telecounseling service and help desk, and that's our help desk line, 0800 22 6622, info@cancer.org.za. And this is basically Connect with Hope, cancer's counseling service, and it includes dedicated telecounseling where trained counselors will confidentially and professionally support those in need. Free counseling in 7 languages. That's English, Afrikaans, isiXhosa, isiZulu, Siswati, Sesotho, and Setswana. And then appointments can be booked through the Cancer Help Desk on 0800 22 6622 or on email counselling@cancer.org.za or via our website www.cancer.org.za. Services available from 8 until 1630 daily. So this is really, especially now with COVID-19, really a service that is helping our patients in terms of counseling, where you don't have to visit physically, but you can do just a phone call away. We will phone you back, and there is no cost involved in this telecounseling service. Then we have our cancer care homes, where cancer provides home-from-home accommodation to patients undergoing cancer treatment at oncology clinics far from their homes in the main metropolitan areas. So we have in Durban a cancer care home, we have in Port Elizabeth a cancer care home, we have in Cape Town, Eekhof and Tygerberg, and then in Pretoria and in Bloemfontein. Guests at our cancer care home stay for an average of 6 weeks and receive meals and transport to and from the treatment centers. So here we have also, in many instances, you can stay for 6 weeks, you will get your meals and transport. And then the smaller ones, we have self-catering units where you will then do self-catering, but we provide transport to and from the treatment centers on a daily basis. Then we have our cancer support groups. We recognize the importance of support groups for cancer survivors, caregivers, and loved ones, and offers them the opportunity to join a caring community where they join their local cancer support group, and we are operating virtually currently. Our active support groups connect cancer survivors, that's now patients and those in remission, their loved ones and caregivers with others who have been there. Here, members will interact with others who have a real understanding of their life experience, and mutual sharing of coping strategies and valuable information may take place. Bereavement support is also provided by CANSA. That's our support groups. And then also we have our CANSA Telestoma service. So you can book an appointment through our help desk, like I've mentioned, the info and the help desk number. So yes, connect with CANSA Telestoma support. CANSA believes that an empowered stoma patient can have a better quality of life. And that's important to know, that an empowered stoma patient can have a better quality of life. So stoma-specific telephonic counseling to patients and their caregivers are taking place. We have trained stoma consultants who work in confidentiality and professionally educate and support those living with stomas. And you can book your appointment on the CANSA help desk. We also have our CANSA stoma tips and tricks. So traveling with my ostomy, what to pack. So I'm not going to go into the detail, but it's also just to give you an idea, pack extra supplies, for example, bring disposable cleansing wipes and disposable bags. Carry a statement from a healthcare professional, and don't forget to leave your anxiety at home, and so on. Then we have also our cancer patient care products, where we sell nappies, stoma products, meal replacements, linen savers, breast prosthesis, etc. Yes, and then our stoma service, you can still have a happy and full life. So this is basically the slide is saying what is stoma and stoma care. But what I want to say to you is that, again, on our email, stoma@cancer.org.za, or WhatsApp 078-942-9290, you will get our cancer stoma service. And that, gentlemen, that was a quick overview, just to give you an idea what cancer services is all about, in terms of, the physical ones that we provide, and then online and virtual ones. Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you so much, Gavin. One thing that I've learned over the last couple of years, the last 12 years that I've been volunteering for CANSA and working with CANSA, is all the services they offer, like you saw. And I want to encourage every single person that's on here today, if you don't have someone close to you that you can talk to, please use the facilities that CANSA has available. That's why they are there, and that's why they've been there for 90 years. So I just want to also congratulate CANSA for being there for 90 years. They are celebrating their 90th anniversary, or birthday, if we want to say so, this year. So thank you for that. Gavin, I've got one question that came into my inbox. So I just quickly want to share it while you are online. As the national manager of cancer care homes, you obviously get to deal with a lot of cancer patients almost on a daily basis. On an emotional side, how do you cope? What's your coping mechanisms to be able to be a caregiver at these care homes?
Yeah, it's very important for us that we need to, and we look at it holistically. We say if there's a patient, right, number one, we try to establish immediately a support group within the care home. After that, we will bring in, what we call religious support. So we will bring in different denominations to come in and give religious support. And that also helps us, to cope better with the disease. But certainly, the support group within the care home is very important, where we share ideas and people can, talk to one another about their experiences, and that helps a lot. And then, of course, the physical environment is also important. That's why we're saying we're trying to make it a home away from home. So cleanliness, not negotiable. And then, of course, we always stick to, the laws of the country in terms of the COVID-19 protocols and so on. That's important for us.
Thank you very much for sharing. We appreciate the work you do, and everyone at the care homes. For anybody that's new to CANSA and doesn't know CANSA, the organization, they've got various care homes, as you saw in the presentation, all over the country, and they just give support. They help people with a bed and get them to their oncology appointments, especially if they stay far, so that they don't have to travel back and forth. And I think during COVID especially, that was very, very crucial. Right, Gavin?
Yeah. No, you mentioned a very important aspect, and that's the traveling side, the transportation of patients. So for us, you have to complete your treatment. So you come and stay with us. We will make sure that you will get your treatment from the treatment center or from the care home to the treatment center and back. And sometimes people forget that if you look at, you don't want to travel with public transport because of the COVID situation. So yeah, important for us.
And I suppose especially if you are a cancer patient or someone going through their cancer journey, your immune system is already compromised. So you don't want to take unnecessary risks, but unfortunately, sometimes you don't have a choice, and that's where the care homes really, really come into play. So thank you for that. I want to move on with the program. Obviously, we've got a steering committee. And Gavin, while you are busy talking, I know you are part of the steering committee. Can I just ask you, obviously, we now know who you are, but what role at CANSA do you play, and why are you part of the support group? After that, I'm going to move on to Bobby, who is also Huitamang. I'm not too sure whether he's here this morning. I know he's been battling to join. And then, of course, we are going to introduce you to David Lucas as well, who is one of our survivors and an incredible human being. So, Gavin, why are you part of the support group, and why are you? What role do you play at CANSA?
Yes, my name is Gavin, surname Kester. I'm by profession not a nurse, but these days we are called environmental health practitioners. In the olden days, it was health inspectors. So I've been, my journey, I started working in local government for many years. And then in the Northern Cape, I went to, work for the Department of Health, provincial government. And then from that, once you are affected by the disease, it can be life-changing. So from that, I had the experience, of people losing the battle against cancer. And that's why I joined the Cancer Association, really to make a difference, not to be as a generalist, but to specialize and to see how you can make a difference within people's lives. And I mean, going back to what we are doing in terms of the care homes, it's fantastic when you see a person or patient coming in very sick, and after 6 or 8 weeks going out, and you see a different person, a satisfied person who comes to you and say, "Thank you, Gavin, for what you are doing. We really appreciate it." And that's the role that we want to do.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Gavin. Okay, I'm going to move over to our next member of the steering committee, Bobby Weir, who was also going to be our facilitator today, but I said I would jump in because of his internet not being as stable as we would have hoped. So, Bobby, if I can ask you to quickly switch on your camera, I think it's important for people to see who our steering committee is. And if you can just share, I know you are a survivor, you do a lot of talks for us. and you do a lot of you give so much support. But why are you on the steering committee, and what's your involvement with CANSA?
Hi. First of all, thank you very much for jumping in at the last minute. Yeah, I'm Bobby Ware. I'm a breast cancer survivor, 2009. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then I saw kids going for radiation while I was going for treatment. And you sort of never think, you think cancer's for old people. So then I became involved with the children at the hospital, trying to support the parents and the kids. And so, yeah, one of the wings of CANSA is the childhood cancer. And so I'm involved there. And because I'm a breast cancer survivor, I've had the privilege of sharing my journey with a number of people. And it's, for me, a great privilege to be able to be part of this group where we can encourage men, to take charge of their bodies, as it were, and to check it out, and to support men, because, guys, we don't really chat about our things. And we certainly don't go to doctors and things like that. So it's important for someone to be able to say, hey, listen, go and speak to someone about that, or be free to say, I've got this bump or this knob or something that's worrying me. And to encourage people to go ahead. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bobby. And like I mentioned, and you also mentioned, you're a breast cancer survivor. And I've actually got a question that I want to ask you. So when we get to the question and answers section of today, then I will ask you that question. So thank you for being on. I know your challenges with the internet has been severe today, so we really appreciate. I can see you in your car, and that's the lens we go through to support each other. All right, the next person, I actually wanted to introduce Hoitamang Babedi first, but I see he's not on, and I know that he has been struggling to get onto the webinar this morning because of internet, and I think it's because of all the rain that we've had. There's a lot of infrastructure that's already compromised because of load shedding that we've had, and now the rain as well. But we are grateful for the rain because we absolutely need it. So I'm going to move on to the next one, the next person on the steering committee, and that's David Lucas. He's also our survivor today, and such an inspiration. I've had the absolute honor to know him for a good couple of years, and he's just so motivational. So I'm going to give you a short bio, and then I'm going to ask you, David, to just introduce yourself further, add some more detail, and then go straight into your talk, if you don't mind. So David Lucas is 63 years old, married with a beautiful wife. I absolutely adore his wife. A retired school principal, 3 children and 4 grandchildren. One of his kids you might recognize if you see a photo of him, because he's a bit of a celebrity as well. Semi-retired, but still serve as a lead volunteer chair of CANSA GNL. So that's Gauteng, Northwest, and Limpopo. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave the rest to you, David, to share. But if you can just start as well. Why are you on the steering committee, and what's your involvement with CANSA?
Good morning, guys. And yeah, I'm very humbled to have all these beautiful things said about me. And I'm not so sure if it's true, but yeah. Listen, I want you to see at the back. You know, there's some stuff hanging there at the back. I'm in Bloemfontein right now. My son and, well, my daughter and her husband, my son-in-law, but I call him my son in any case, very busy moving in Bloemfontein. The weather is beautiful, and because it has a bit of rain in there, but they're busy moving, so I'm sitting outside. And I was hoping that if we made this later, I would have been buying a choppy here. I would have been having a beer in my hand. We would have been going out. This is a support group for men. Guys, we are going to support one another. We're going to learn from one another. And I promise you, it is a beautiful journey. I always say to people, you know, cancer patients, and for you that's Afrikaans speaking, There's a saying that we used to have, en ek noem dit, kankerpasiënte is die Here se wit broodjies. So what it means is that we are God's favorites. You've had cancer, you have been diagnosed with cancer, but you have had the opportunity to make right with God, with your fellow human beings, your family, your partner, friends around you. And there are millions this day that did not have that opportunity this morning to make right, to talk to God, to talk to other people, because they could have had a sudden heart attack and they're not there. But I want to start off with the spiritual side. You know, this morning I'm humbled to hear what people are saying about me and my incredible journey. No, I've had not an incredible journey. There are people around me that is, and you know, I'm really humbled. I feel small and insignificant when I hear what they've gone through, the treatment they've received, and they are there and they are in love with life. And I can tell you that, yes, unfortunately, the tears are very close because this is a dream come true. A dream that we are so glad that I could be part of this dream. That's why the answer with regards to the steering committee, being part of this journey, that we can talk to other people. And guys, I don't care what your spiritual sort of journey is, but somewhere in your spiritual journey, you will have found that those people, let me use the word guru, that person that you look up to, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Muhammad, whether it is, you know, Buddha, whatever, within that journey, I promise you that you will have found that those people that were leading you, that you look up to, has actually got a love for people, but also they are what we sometimes call softies. Because you know what? We don't want to cry. And in the Bible, the shortest verse in the Bible is actually Jesus cried, Jesus wept. 2 little words, and that ties me up to the third 3-letter word. You have cancer. Guys, it is scary. It sounds like a death sentence, but all of it is part of a new journey in your life. And how successful that journey is going to be, we must not forget that we will all at some stage in our life have to die, but it's a journey, as I said before, that you have now an opportunity to make right with God, whatever your spiritual values are, that you will be able to make right with those around you. And therefore, it is a journey which is incredible. And my journey started 11 years ago. Yes, the most known cancer. But you know what? To be honest with you, it's actually the cancer that's the easiest to beat. And that's prostate cancer. Prostate cancer. And there's sayings that all men will have prostate cancer unless they die of something else. But boy, oh boy, when you hear those words, it's sometimes we in our first thing in our minds is, gee whiz, am I dead? No, you're not dead. You are starting this journey. We are going to be here to talk to one another about that. Being able to, and I hopefully that, you know, we will be able to expand with one another, to talk to one another. And I want to start off by also saying, guys, even if you, Emmanuel, there is the cancer helpline. But even if you want to connect with me physically and saying, guys, here's my telephone number, let me speak to you, I am all for it. Please, you know, it is, I believe God's given an opportunity. If one man is saved, if his life is extended, if he goes through that life with purpose and value, then God has given me that opportunity to do that. And I believe that we will be able to do it. We're going to be able to learn here how to also support other guys, how to help and be a caregiver as well in our own right. And I want to say to you that the journey with prostate cancer is certainly the highest. 95% of guys that have had it diagnosed early enough are going to survive. 95%. Now that's incredible to think about that. And we as men, cowboys don't cry and we don't go to the doctor. But I hope here we're going to have opportunity to talk to one another, that we will be able to, kom ons wees die sissies. So if somebody says, you have gone to the doctor, you're a hero, you're a superhero, you're a champion, be able to stand up and say, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to take care of my life. My life is in my hands, and I am going to be the one that takes care of it. And guys, prostate cancer does not show itself in a way that you can actually identify it all the time. And for me, it was by chance, purely by chance, because I thought I had arthritis, something totally not even attached to prostate cancer. Because normally one of the problems that is because the prostate sitting down there, if you go to the toilet, you have a bit of a problem with weeing and you can't wee, and oopsie, that sounds like something is wrong because you're over the age of 45 and therefore this doesn't seems right. But I had none of that. And like most of us, we go to the doctor because we were told to go after 40, 45, and then we suddenly say, this is not necessary. Because sometimes we also have that, we're scared. We are actually scared because we've heard those rumors, those stories that somebody is going to do a digital examination, take his finger, feel into your anus, and that is what we are scared of. No, guys, it's not even necessary. Blood test, and that's how mine did. By chance, my doctor, when I told him I've got arthritis, he said, David, let's do a blood test. We did a blood test, and it came back with a raised PSA, prostate-specific antigen, purely just a marker in your prostate that tells you it's raised, there's something wrong. And that is how my journey began. And guys, I hope we're going to be able to share more and more of my journey. Over to you at this stage, Emmanuel.
David, what I want to do is, because we've got a bit of time, so I actually have a question, not from today, but someone actually asked you did a webinar a couple of days ago, and someone asked the question and we weren't able to get there, but it's so relevant. As a survivor who's also now a caregiver, you spend a lot of time supporting people going through a similar journey to yours, but sometimes more severe. How do you remain positive? How do you, because every single time I see you and every time we have a conversation, you have a smile on your face and you're just so motivating. What is your method of coping, especially when you work and support others that go through that journey?
Manuel, it's probably one of the most difficult things to say, how do I? Because, you know, we tend to try and avoid ourselves. But I think it's such a great thing to be able to be there for other people. But you know what? More important, and this is why this group is so important for us, is the fact that you have other people supporting you. And guys, yeah, you might be sitting there today, my friend. You might know somebody who's got cancer. You might have somebody that you can be the support. I've been in an incredible, fortunate person that my family, my wife, I'm so blessed. I've got parents alive, 86 years of age, both my mom and dad. But my children, they were so strong and they could support me. Because I promise you, let's not make any mistakes about this. You are still going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And when it's all quiet, and you're still going to say, but am I dying? But my story goes back a little bit deeper than that, then perhaps. Why I have this view that, wow, guy, this is not the end of the world. And that's what I said to my kids, guys, I have not done what I've wanted to do. Because I could never send you to the school that I think is the best. I could never give you the cars that you wanted. I could never give you everything. But life is not all about that. Life is all about, you also need to start off somewhere, and you also got to learn that you got to progress through life and have the beatings up in between. And I said to them, guys, I've tried my best. I can actually die and say, look, I've done my best. Maybe it's not as good as what it should be, and there's always somebody better than me. But I can tell you, guys, if you can be a supporter for somebody, if you can be just making a difference in somebody else's life, wow. You know what? I believe that is what drives you, and that is what will drive you. So when we start with this conversation, when we have the support group, I promise you, even if you're a cancer patient and feeling down, if you walk out to somebody else and just say hi to him, you know, I promise you, there are people sitting right next door to you that's gaining from you in that pain that you have, in that down negative moments you have, there's somebody that says, wow, if Joe Soap can do this, why can't I do it? And you know what? There's always a saying that people have in cancer. If you can beat cancer, you can beat anything in life. There is absolutely nothing that you cannot do, guys. So for me, that is perhaps my passion. That's why I can live, because I'm going to die at some stage. But I promise you, I've beaten cancer. I've told cancer where to get off. And therefore, this is incredible for me to be able to say, thank God, I'm alive. I can make a difference to somebody else's life. And even when the time comes, the pain will come. I'm under no disillusions that there's going to be the toughness. You know, when you talk to somebody, I had a discussion with somebody else, his father is with cancer. And you know what? His father's accepted where he wants to be. The question that we sometimes ask, have we accepted that the person that we are supporting, has made right? He is feeling that he wants to move to a different space. And yeah, I think maybe, you know, look, it'd be great. And it's also that we have more of our spiritual people, some pastors, some priests, whichever religion, coming on here and also giving us what, you know, that love that they have gained. I think that's important. And yeah, you know, all I can say is, guys, I'm just grateful for having another day. I'm just grateful. Please don't make no mistake. I also have negativities and I also fight, and I also say, but you know, why is it happening for me? You know, I look at somebody else's, but there's so many opportunities. And yes, we are a support group. We're going to support one another. We are going to learn from one another. And I promise you sitting there, even as a new cancer patient, a new cancer survivor, I promise you are going to teach us the coping mechanisms that we did not know that we had. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you, David. I want to go to the floor actually now and ask some of the survivors or some of the cancer patients. You out there, you just got the word you've got cancer, or the words you've got cancer. Because we are a support group, I would like to give you the opportunity to speak. So what I am going to do, if you hover over your screen at the bottom, you'll see a little button that says reactions. So if you would like to share your journey, we don't have a lot of time, but I would like to make a bit of time for this. If you click on reactions, you can raise your hand. So if there's anyone who's willing to share what they're going through at the moment, maybe, and you don't have to give advice. You can ask questions, or you can just, you know, share your advice. I think it's a very taboo that us as men get raised sometimes, that we're not allowed to cry. We're not allowed to have a hard day or a difficult day. We get bad news and we just kind of have to cope with it. So even if you're having a bad day today, that's why we have the support group. So please raise your hand if you're willing to share your story with us. I'm going to give it a second or two. Oh, fantastic. I'm not too sure what your name is. It says Android, but I'm not too sure. I don't think your name is Android, but I'm going to ask you to unmute quickly. If you would, there we go. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, my name is Tolani. I'm in East London. I'm only diagnosed with cancer in this year, April. It's a metastatic lung cancer. I've completed all my 6 cycles of chemotherapy, and I've suffered a very, very unendurable side effects. But I told myself that I will survive even that. And I'm happy that today I can share this experience with you guys. And I'm looking forward to be part of this family. Thank you.
Tulani, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. And this is why the support group was started. And just once again, I just want to say thank you to Daredevil by Hollard for giving us the platform and giving us the opportunity, and also CANSA, the Cancer Association of South Africa, that doesn't just do research, because the ultimate goal is obviously to have a cancer-free society, but we've got to be realistic with the fact that I think we still have ways to go before we get there. But we've got our researchers working on a daily basis to try and find a cure. But in the meantime, what can we do? We can support each other. And that's what's so important about today. So thank you for sharing. And I hope that would allow someone else to also share their journey. In the meantime, while I wait for someone to raise their hand, I'm going to ask Bobby. Bobby, as a cancer survivor, and I mean, you went through quite an ordeal as a man with breast cancer. What advice would you give to Lani, who's just heard the words this year? You've got cancer. How would you? What advice would you give to him? Coping mechanisms. How to wake up in the morning and just keep fighting the fight.
Thank you for asking. For me, humor. I forced myself to find something in each day to have a good laugh about. Because we do tend to get negative. And as David said, I'm so grateful to my Father, my Heavenly Father, for being there for me, if I say it like that, and it may sound wrong, but it definitely is for me. It was and it still is a place of safety in a sense, to be able to go and get that reassurance that I can handle today. Don't plan big steps. Take it one day at a time, and find the funny side of life, because we need a good laugh. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I know you always give the best advice, and sometimes a person doesn't want to hear the medical advice because it's so clinical sometimes. So to hear words like find the humor in life, enjoy life while we are here, is quite inspiring. So thank you for sharing. All right,
Manuel,
there are two hands that's up. Yes, Bobby.
We should listen to our bodies as well. Our bodies tell us when we need what we need. And sometimes we need to take time just to listen to our bodies.
Fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. All right, then there's Lynn Williams. Okay, great. You unmuted. If you wouldn't mind switching your camera on, if you can. It's always a bit easier when it's a support group, when we can actually see each other. But I do understand that internet connectivity is sometimes a problem. Lynn.
Hi, good morning, Emmanuel.
Hi, good morning.
I actually registered for my dad, Michael. So he's got something to say.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Michael.
Hi, good morning, everybody that's participating. What a wonderful opportunity. I was looking forward to this. My journey started on the 25th of June when I was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer. And what was very encouraging was that my pulmonologist and all that doctors told me that it's treatable, it's curable. And that is where I start clinging personally onto Jesus, also in the finish of my faith. Then myself, the doctors, I've got a good panel of doctors. And just to share with the group that on Thursday past, the 25th of November, I received my last chemo treatment. So that was the wonderful news. I could ring the bell, and I'm looking forward to my next visitation to my hematologist on the 13th of January, where he's going to share with me what the PET scan results is. But I'm looking forward to it, and I can truly agree with everyone, all the speakers previously. Especially David, when you said that your support group, your family, your wife, your children. My wife is right next door to me, sitting next to me, and I could pat her on the leg, and my daughter's here. So I'm thankful for this group. I was looking forward to it because I need to give back to the community as a cancer survivor now already, so that there's other people in my position that is sitting, that's got nowhere to go, don't know what to do. It's on the crossroad. So I'm out there, and I will certainly make use of the cancer support group. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much for sharing. And that's I'm sitting with goosebumps because the last couple of weeks, it's bad news after bad news after bad news. So to hear a little bit of good news is also incredible. And what I just want to reiterate from listening to you speak is the fact that your family, your caregivers are still supporting you, and they're there, and they're actually joining in today, which for me is very, very special. I think one thing that I want to ask is that even after today, if you can please keep an eye on social media and share with on your platforms and share with your database, because there's a lot of men that don't necessarily know that there is support, and that we're trying to create support. So the more we can get the word out there and spread the word, the better it would be. All right. I did see that CANSA head office raised the hand. I just want to find out, did you want to mention something? You can unmute yourself. Okay, I'm going to ask Tulani to just unmute yourself again, Tulani, and then you can.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to open my video. I can't.
I'm going to see if I can help you with that.
Sure.
All right, yeah, it doesn't seem to want to open your video, but feel free to still talk. We can at least hear you.
Yeah, it would have made a difference if you were able to see my video as well. My name is Tulani Mabaso. In 2018, just like you, David, I had to go to a doctor for a totally different reason. I had what I suspected to be food poisoning. And I had a terrible diarrhea, and I was bleeding as well. And like you, David, the doctor said, let's do all the tests, but let's also do PSA. You know, I'm not worried about your diarrhea. We can treat it, but I'm more worried about your bleeding. And it was through that test that it came up, abnormally high. Like you, David, I didn't show any symptoms at all if there were problems with my prostate, and none. The doctor will ask nothing. And we waited for 14 days, and then we did another test, still high. Then that's when he decided to take me to the urologist. And the urologist didn't want to do the biopsy or other tests. He said, your doctor is panicking because you look very fine to me. The scan looks very fine. It was still at the insistence of my doctor that we did a biopsy, and that's when I was diagnosed to be having prostate cancer, and it was already at an advanced stage. That was December 2018, and then January 2019. I was just turning 50, by the way, at that time. And January, I had to do the operation, and then I lost my prostate, but I gained my life. I'm in a good state of health, but the unfortunate part was that this year, just going through the routine test, we discovered that the prostate has, not the prostate, the cancer rather, has spread. And now, also no symptoms were showing. And it was on my hip bone. So, and I just went through the 6 weeks of radiation, and I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling sick, I should say. I'm feeling strong. But what is important, Emmanuel and the group, is, of course, you need treatment. It's key, but support, all forms of support is quite crucial. And of course, care. And I had all of that. So I regard myself as being one of those who are privileged, having access to treatment, one of the best treatments, and having, support around me, having people who are caring for me. I think that's really, really, really crucial, because most people, you may find that they may have access to treatment, but the other components are missing, like care and support. They may not have those. You may have care and support, but have no access to treatment. But for me, that has been a lesson to say, You need all the combination of all that. But David, I like what you are doing. The issue that we need to do now is to definitely take the word out there, motivate men to go and get tested. Also making sure that there is access to treatment, and encourage them that it's not the end of the world, especially with the type of the cancers that we are fighting. Because for men, if I have prostate cancer, then it's like, it's the end of my manhood, and it's not always the case. And that's the positive message that we should be sending out there. No, I think for now, Emmanuel, pity I couldn't open my video. That's what I would like to share. But thanks for this platform, bringing us together to share our experience, to encourage each other, to propel ourselves as we move towards the journey. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulani. Yes, David, I'm gonna ask you to actually comment now. I see your hand is up. Tulani, I just want to say thank you for sharing, number one, and number two, that the message of early detection and going for your tests. I know that they say that you've got to go 40 and up. You've got to start going for your regular tests. And a survivor that I spoke to not so long ago was under 40. He was I think about 38, and his advice is 35 and up. So your body will sometimes tell you if there's something wrong, even if it's something small. But in a lot of times, like what Tulani said now, he had no idea. The same as with David. David thought he had arthritis, right? And luckily he went for the test, the blood test. So early detection is key, and so many lives could have been saved if men and women would just go and get tested. David, do you want to unmute? And I know you wanted to say something.
I thank you, Emmanuel. Guys, firstly, if during these sort of sessions that we have, I do cry, please, I will do it openly, and I'm not going to be scared of doing it, because that makes me more of a man than anything else, because I can live with my emotions. But you guys are humbling me, these guys that have spoken already, because I haven't been to chemo. I've heard all the complications with it. But if that is going to save a life, boy, oh boy, why not? But I just quickly want to mention, because, this is the one that absolutely, Tulani, these are the sort of things that we talk about. And let me be blunt about it. Firstly, prostate cancer. It is shown worldwide that amongst Black men, those are the cancers that's the most relevant. It's the most highest incidence. That's number one. Number two, it does not mean that it is so-called a disease of any particular grouping. And I want to use that word. I just said last night or so, somebody was using that word, disease, in another total different program. Uneasiness. It is not a death sentence, it's an uneasiness. But I know that there are two elephants in the room that we do not want to talk about it. But we are guys here that we can talk. And when we learn from here, we can go to other guys and say to them, one, you do not need to have the finger examination firstly, the digital examination. Firstly, the doctor will take bloods. Number two, guys, 64 years of age. And I say it, and sometimes I say it, and they said to me the other day, be careful, there's other people that's going to listen to what you're saying. Guys, it's a reality. We are men. We are talking about our manhood. We want to talk about that. Sex is a reality. It's part of our life. But and firstly, let me first start off with the saying, if your cancer, particularly prostate cancer, is caught early enough, it is not going to affect your manhood. It's not going to affect your sexual ability. Well, 64 at some stage, I know that it's going to go lower, and maybe I'm not as great as I think I am, but I can tell you, I can still do it. So that is catch it early. I think that's our message. Catch it early enough. You can live a full life. Gavin showed us the slides of, dietary requirements, what you should be doing. Guys, the one advantage is you don't now suddenly have to be, as they call it, the gym bunny, that you're going to be in the gym every day, that you can only eat X, Y, and Z food. You can live a normal, healthy life. And Emmanuel, I'm going to take the opportunity just lastly to say to Gavin and all those people at CANSA, guys, you're doing a great job. All you friends that are listening here today, you know, these guys, during COVID, the care homes in particular, there were people that during lockdown 5 that said, well, we need patients, we need to look after them. And they stayed there for up to 4 weeks, not seeing their own families because they were locked in there. They could not get out. And I really, really appreciate what you did. There is, during September, October, it's October, there is a great number of crazy guys. I've been ragged and chatted about, and people saying things, me with my Speedo there, that purple Speedo. Hollard, you're doing a fantastic job to make us aware of what happens with COVID. And all that money raised goes to CANSA and one of the other sister organizations so that men cancer can be a priority. Female cancers, we know all about it. But guys, we are going to be also not just listening to one another and talking to one another. We are also going to be those guys that go out there and make this a reality that people know about males and male cancers as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, David. I'm so glad you actually mentioned COVID and the lockdown and what the cancer staff did. And I know a lot of volunteers also put their lives online to give support and to be able to assist cancer patients and people going through their journey. And sometimes just a friendly hello or a smile or cracking a joke with one of the people going through cancer makes all the difference in their day and their lives. Okay, Andreas, thank you very much for sharing. I can't see your camera, even though it's on, it's black, just a black screen, but at least we can hear you. You would like to share?
Yes, yeah, good morning. I don't know why I can't get the video to work. But yeah, I'm very grateful to be part of this. I've been diagnosed with prostate cancer in March this year, which was not too bad at first because we looked at everything. It was very small. The doctor said it's slow growing. And we looked at all the possibilities and we decided to do the brachytherapy. Which is one of the most successful therapies for this cancer, especially if it's so small still. But when I went in September for an MRI scan just to look around the prostate, and everything was fine. So it was very located in the prostate. But when we did my PSA count, it shot up to 47. So then the doctor said we have to start to look elsewhere. So after bone scans, it was shown that the cancer moved to the bone, the hip bone, which made it now a more dangerous cancer. It's now stage 4. And I just started with I think it's a month now, I get a triple therapy I'm going to have, hormone therapy at the moment. Until the end of Jan, we will still do the brachytherapy, and then the radiology will follow. So yeah, it is definitely turn your world upside down. At first, I was not really scared because I knew the prostate cancer is one of the best cancers that you can then heal. But with the stage 4, the moving of the cancer is a little bit different story. But to me, I'm very at peace with it because I realized I always lived in the moment, but now I even more focus of being in the moment and living every day. And I even told my children, we're not going to sit and walk around with long faces. We will make the best of every minute that I'm still here. So to me, and that's the message I want to share with people, is not how long I will still live, but rather how I'm going to use the time that I'm still here every day. And that's why I decided I want to tell my story. I started I have a group where I share my emotions and the thoughts that goes through my head, because there are millions of thoughts that goes through your head every day. And I share those with this group just to tell my story so that they can get a little bit of an insight of what are patients with cancer actually going through and what are they thinking and what are the emotions. So, and I also decided I want to get involved because I'm naturally, luckily, a very positive person. So I don't get negative easily. So I thought, but I can maybe play a role. Maybe this is on my road, my path, to help other people to cope with whatever is going on in their lives, especially with the cancer. So yeah, and this is getting involved with you guys with cancer, and this support group is actually that I thought my first step of getting more involved and also want to play a role and make a difference in other people's lives. Yeah, so that is my story.
Andreas, thank you so much for sharing. And it's so incredible to hear your story, and someone that's also currently going through it. Just to hear how positive you are, and I know that you obviously, like everyone else, have your negative days. And the question that I've got for you is, you mentioned that you've got kids and that you've got a family. How difficult was it for you to share the diagnosis or the words that you've got cancer with them? Did you do it right away, or did you hesitate? What was your journey like when you just found out that you've got cancer?
Yeah, no, I've shared it immediately with them. I'm very fortunate to have very good relationships with my 3 children. I've got a daughter of 25 and then a daughter of 20, and my son is 15. So yeah, I immediately shared with them, and yeah, they are amazing, just supporting me. And yeah, but it's I think the thing that got to me a little bit is my eldest daughter got married in June. And I think the thoughts that was going through my head is, will I be able to be there with the other 2 weeks? Yeah, so that is quite a thing, and that's thoughts that you are thinking of, will you still be there? But yeah, so like I said, and then we decided that we will not walk around with long faces. We can show emotion because we are human, but we are going to make the most of every day.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Bobby, I want to quickly just ask you the question that was posted to me earlier. As a breast cancer survivor, and especially a male breast cancer survivor, there's still a lot of people that think that men cannot get breast cancer. And I mean, it's been proven that quite a large percentage of people compared to other cancers of men can get breast cancer. How did you find out? Did you do a self-examination? How would, if I was, well, I'm a man, and how would I do the self-examination, in other words?
For me, I was lying in a bath, just washing myself, and I felt a small lump, pea-sized lump next to my nipple. And yeah, I didn't do anything about it because it wasn't painful. And this is a message that people must realize, that cancer is not painful generally when it starts. So the idea of a self-examination really is very important. And I think that we should, as men, take one day a month, say for argument's sake, the 20th. And when we're showering or bathing, just run your hands over your body and feel. If you feel there's a lump or a bump that wasn't there the week before or something like that, just keep an eye on it. And if it carries on, then seek advice. Even our young boys, with testicular cancer, we should be open as men for our sons to be able to come and say to us, Dad, I'm feeling something not right here. Or, you know, be open to chat about it. But it's very important, Manuel, and thank you for bringing this up, that we run our hands over our bodies and we feel our bodies for anything that's abnormal, if I can say it like that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your answer. And I've heard it said so many times that men say, oh, but breast cancer, only women can get it. And it's so important to get the word out there that people need to do men need to do a self-examination. Testicular cancer, the same thing. So thank you very much. And that's why the support group is here, to share and to give advice and to just support each other, be a foundation where men can come and talk openly and honestly, and hear from other survivors and people going through it at the moment. So if you, especially some of the cancer survivors that are in remission, if you know of someone that just heard the words, I've got cancer, we all know the journey is very, very tough for them, especially in the beginning when they just hear those words. It's a lot of emotions going on. Can I ask you to please share with them that every third Saturday we will be having this webinar. Thank you to Daredevil by Hollard for allowing us to do this, and to just, I want this to become a stable. It needs to be, or stable. It needs to be that men know every third Saturday they can come on here, be open and honest, get advice, and just support each other. And, you know, if you want to cry, you're more than welcome to cry. I can promise you every single person up here will not judge you for it. They will just support you. Andreas, you mentioned that you have a platform where you actually share your journey and your thoughts and stuff. Can I ask you to please, on the chat box, if you can, just post the link to that platform, so that people can actually go and follow you and see your journey and potentially also support you there, if you don't mind. All right, now it's 15:15. We've got until past. So I don't see any other questions. Are there any other questions that people would like to get answered from our steering committee? Maybe they are here to answer. So if you don't have any questions, you can also send an email when you think of something, or if you don't want to post it on a public platform, you can send it to info@cansa.org.za. And then, of course, as you know, there are so many support groups, and if you want to talk, you can just go onto the website, cansa.org.za, and just go scroll around there. There's a lot of materials and info sheets, and I think there's more than 300, to be honest with you, of info sheets where you can get a lot of information. But I just want to mention the fact that it's important to talk, to get your emotions out, and that's why the support group is here. All right, anyone from our steering committee that would like to say a word or two? We are going to play out with 2 videos, one survivor video, and then also our very, it's one of my favorite videos, the Don't Fear the Finger video from CANSA, which I actually want you guys to go onto the CANSA YouTube channel and share, go onto Facebook and share this video, because a lot of men think that they have to go for the dreaded finger test, like David mentioned earlier. But in fact, the first test could potentially only be a blood test. So is there anyone from the steering committee that I can ask to say 1 or 2 words? Gavin?
Yes, thank you, Antonio. This is a wonderful platform. And I'm actually looking forward, getting more men on board. And David, I'm not sure, did we say, are we talking about caregivers also to come on board to share their journey as opposed to, patients or survivors only.
Gavin, I know that yesterday we actually, during our dry run, just to do the technical, I know today was open for cancer survivors or people going through cancer at the moment, men, that's heard those dreaded words, you've got cancer. But they did mention yesterday that potentially it would open for the caregivers and the survivors, or for not really the general public, but for caregivers to also join. Yeah.
If I can say a few words.
Please, Bobby.
When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was very, very lucky because a prominent member of in town where I stay, was just completing his breast cancer. So he really, if I can say, mentored me, told me it's mind games and you had to get your mind right. And, we sort of say breast cancer amongst men is not that common. And yet I have, within the first 2 years of my breast cancer, had the opportunity to share with 5 other men in our little town about breast cancer. So it's not something that's so far-fetched, as it were. There definitely is, and a lot of people don't realize it until it's too late because it's not painful. So having a support group where we can talk about all sorts of things, it's seriously needed, and thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I really appreciate what you just said. I want to actually open it up to the floor, and you don't have to talk. You can just comment on the chat box. Just one last question. We just spoke about either the support group just staying for men with cancer, or potentially opening it for their partners and their caregivers or their immediate families. What are your opinions on this? Would you prefer to only have this for the cancer patients? I know that a lot of times people don't want to talk about their innermost feelings in front of their caregivers because they don't want to bother them or they don't want to worry them. So what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to put on there. There's one support group for men cancer patients and male caregivers. So that's one of the opinions. That's from Cancer Services that was mentioned. But I want to hear from the actual people that are on here today, the cancer patients, the people going through the journey at the moment. What would you prefer? Do you want it exclusively just for people going through the journey, or the caregivers as well? If you can please post your comments on the chat box. I would really appreciate it. While we do that, David, a couple of last words from you.
Emmanuel, yes, thank you. You sort of caught me unaware, but this is a chat, and we are going to move around, and we're gonna, guys. I really think that this is such a great thing. I'm not going to comment on whether we should have the caregivers there or not, but what I can comment is you guys that are here are heroes. You incredible people, and I'm not talking about myself because I'm humbled every time. The guys that has come up and said, and there's others who are maybe not so open to be able to just talk, but the incredible fact is we are there together. And what was the old saying? The older guys will know, Eendrag maak mag. In unity, there's strength. You know, we can support one another. We can be able to love one another. And this cancer, thank you for this opportunity. And for Daredevil, I'm going to say again, the Hollard people, thank you so much. You know, we need to go out there. And, Emmanuel said just earlier, what's the, it doesn't sound so lekker in another language, but in Afrikaans, hoendervleis. You know, that skin, this raise, because I can think of what we are going to do for other men. And I think that if you have other emotional talks that you want to talk about, because it's a mind game and you've got to win the mind game. So when you have other emotions that you want to talk about it, I think we need to talk about it. Let us be open about it. It's not something that is only, it's cancer. You got other things. Guys, we can be strong there for one another, and we can cry with one another. We can be there and we can love one another. Nothing wrong with it. But again, thank you so much. And thank you, really thank you guys that came on here. Let us go out there. Let's spread this word that there's a group of people that cares about each other. Not about myself, but each other. And we are going to make a difference for and with each other. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
You know what, David, if I may ask, Manuel, sorry for jumping in.
Of course you may. No,
How
jump
many
in.
of us, when we hear the word we have cancer, switch off and we don't hear everything that the doctor says? And for me, I'm so grateful that my precious wife went with me, because you sort of get to a point and she says, now you must do ABC. And I'll say to her, but where did you come from? Why ABC? She said, you didn't hear. The doctor said, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and this is how you handle it. And I think for us as well here, to be able to share tips that we went through will certainly help other guys as well. Thank you.
Manuel, thank you. Can I just, and hopefully, when the discussion longer, but we don't also, when the doctor sometimes give us that advice, sometimes he actually deals with it not as great as what we think it is, because we see him as just another, a face who's stronger than us. And I must tell you that my oncologist, I walked into him and one day and he said to me, David, I must tell you that I've also got cancer now. I've got colorectal cancer. And guys, what does that mean? It means that he also deals with the difficulties of it. At my 60th birthday, I had a birthday and I invited people along, and my one GP came in and he said to me, I must tell you, I'm also going to go for brachytherapy. So we all deal with this very difficult. Oh, my wife's one cousin, similar situation. After I spoke openly about my cancer, afterwards he came, and 2 weeks later, he called me and said to me, you know what, I didn't want to talk to you about when we were. This guy is a well-known key opinion leader in surgery. And he said, I didn't know, how to deal with this. Thank you for talking to me. So yes, we all don't always listen. And I think, I also went in there, when after the guy said to me, you have cancer, dreaded 3-letter words, I actually did not know. Bobby, you're so true. It is so true. I don't even think I listened to what he said afterwards. And I can't even recall what he said afterwards, because then he said, let's have the examination. And now we've got a biopsy and et cetera, et cetera. But he probably said a lot of other things which I didn't listen to. And I did, today, guys, but sometimes some of those things are actually better if we deal with it and we talk about it, because so often doctors, as I just mentioned earlier, takes the route of, he's dealing with it as a doctor. And sometimes the emotions doesn't come out, because don't forget that he's also an emotional person. He's also, most of the time, I don't know how to put it, it's because not fortunate, unfortunate, but most of the times he's probably a male as well, who also realize when he says those words to you and to me, he probably also has the same problem, that he could also have it, he could also get it. So sometimes he also doesn't really want to get to the emotional part. And I think this is where we come in as a support group. We're going to deal with those emotions. We're going to deal with when you don't know what to do anymore. I think it was Andreas, one of the guys actually mentioned, I wrote the name down and I'm not standing with the paper in my hand now, but one of the guys mentioned that from the prostate brachytherapy, it went into with me, it went to the lymph nodes. I had brachytherapy. I had to go back and I had to have radiation therapy. Thank God I didn't land up with the hormonal therapy. I didn't land up with chemotherapy, but it wasn't just the journey of boom, that's finished, it's there. And take heat and take this, 2011, 2021, I'm still here. And guys, you will still be around a long time. But if that time comes, we're going to know that we've done our best with other people as well. Thank you, guys. That's my last words. By the way, I must say to Emmanuel, you guys were wrong. I'm not an ex-school principal. My wife was a school principal. I was actually in the politics. I'm still a lover of the politics. So if you give me a chance, I'm going to talk till the end of the day. So I'm going to say no.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. I just quickly want to make an apology. Khwetsamang had no power since early this morning, and that's why he wasn't able to join. But with the next support group, I'm sure he will be here, and then he can also share. Please, if you need to have more info on specific topics, let us know and we can work it into the sessions. This is very interactive. And I also want to just mention something for you to think about. A lot of times, especially when a cancer patient hears those words that they've got cancer, their support structure, their caregivers don't always know how to react or how to what the next steps are. So I think these type of support groups are also very, very important for them to be able to learn from others that have gone through that. But just remember, this is your support group. We want to make it as comfortable for you to be able to share and talk about your journey. So you let us know. You can email info@cansa.org.za and just let us know what your thoughts are. Remember, this is a journey that we want to walk with you. And every single third Saturday, we are going to be here from 9 o'clock to 10:30. Thank you to Daredevil by Hollard for giving us a platform, and the Cancer Association of South Africa. And just thank you for being here. Spread the word, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks again. But you don't have to wait until then. Go onto the CANSA website, cansa.org.za, and there they will share. Well, you can see all the different platforms. We have to go because we ran out of time. But I'm going to play out with a. Yes, Kevin.
Just before we go, I just want to say from our side and also on behalf of the group, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for facilitating this. You were fantastic, and we're surely looking forward to the next sessions. Thank you.
It's my absolute pleasure, Gavin, and thank you for allowing me to step in when Bobby's internet kind of failed. So it's my absolute honor. As you guys know, my passion is cancer, and especially survivors, because I've been affected by cancer so much in my life, but I've never physically had it. I've always been the caregiver. Both my sisters had cancer. My mom has cancer. Luckily, all of them not severe. They're all alive still. They fought the fight, but it's given me a passion. So it was my honor to step in for Bobby, even though Bobby is incredible. So, all right.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm going to play out with two videos. I know that we ran a little bit over time, only 3 minutes, but one is a survivor video that's such an incredible human being like all of you. And then after that, I'm going to play our Don't Fear the Finger video, which is probably one of my favorite cancer videos. So see you in a couple of weeks. Please share your comments in the next couple of minutes while we are playing the video. And if you've got any questions or any advice or any topics you want to talk about, please send it to info@cansa.org.za. And we'll see you soon. My name is Randall Peterson.
Since I was a young boy, I wanted to play rugby professionally. Sport is actually all I knew. I realized that my fitness levels were going down. I lost quite a lot of weight, got fatigued very easily. I actually thought to myself, listen, you're training very hard and it's in summertime, so the night sweats are because it's hot. The loss of weight is because you're training very hard. The tiredness was just, I thought to myself, listen, you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go and train, so it's probably that. The first diagnosis from a doctor was that I had asthma, but I told the doctor that I had asthma as a child, so I know it's not asthma. You try and live a healthy lifestyle, and then you get diagnosed and you think to yourself, listen here, but I'm young, I'm healthy, I do everything right. I try and think about that day quite a lot. I just had a sense of calmness. I don't know, I can't explain it. As soon as he told me, listen here, but you have cancer, I just felt this sense of ease that, listen here, everything is going to be okay. My wife's reaction was quite emotional and shocked in the beginning. We were married for 13 months when I was diagnosed. I really relied on her through this whole process, and she was very strong. I thought to myself, and I said, listen here, this is just another injury. Whatever they say, this is the diagnosis, this is what the treatment plan will be, you are going to do it in half the time. I received my first chemo session on the Monday. The Thursday I was out of hospital. When I got home, my grass was long, so I mowed the lawn. The next morning I was in the gym, so I just told myself, listen here, you are going to carry on as per usual. So I've been involved in 2 Relay for Lives now, and every year we're just getting stronger and stronger, and we just see the whole community coming together on an evening to just honor those that have lost the fight against cancer, or to help those that are still fighting the battle. I must say my favorite part about the relay event is just to take a moment in the evening just to go and sit somewhere. And when you just go there and you sit there and you take everything in, you realize how all of the work has been done and how everything just fell into place and just came up to be a perfect evening. My story is always the same. It's a story of motivation and hope. If you use motivation and if you have hope and you have faith, then anything is possible. I always say to people that your mind can be either your best friend or your worst enemy, because whatever you believe, that is what will happen. I actually try and just stay positive and keep a positive mind at all times, no matter what the situation is. I believe that is actually the key to success.
He said, yes, let's go.
Hi, it's Tele.
Sign here.
Tele? Ready for your blood test?